Hello everyone, I'm Diesel Wind, I've just blown in. And today we are back with more Seduce Me the Anime. Last time we finished up, I want to say it's Matthew's Path? My apologies, it's been over a month since I've been able to do recording for this game. Mostly because I've been focused on getting Dragon Age Origins Awakening wrapped up, which as of this recording, it is done, it is shot. It needs to be edited and released. Actually, by the time I release this set of videos, Awakening should be done. But that is neither here nor there. It is a new day, it is time for a new path. Let us begin a new game, shall we? We are going with the gold orb this time.
Hold on!
Hi, Kay!
Before you start the game, I need to ask you a few things. Don't want you getting lost now.
But I'm so good at it. I have zero sense of direction. I get lost all the time.
First of all, have you read the first story?
Yes.
Seduce Me the Otome?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Next question.
Cool.
You do know this is James's route,
Yes, I
right?
do.
You know, the eldest incubus?
Yes. Yes, I do. It is why I picked the gold orb. And I totally did look at a cheat sheet to remind me of who's what color and why. I mean, I totally did that, let's be honest. Yep, I know.
Oh, awesome. All right then.
I know, right?
That's pretty cool, huh?
I know.
It's the glasses, isn't it? You can tell me.
It's the hair, the glass. It's the whole package, really.
Anyway, I have one last question for you. Some people
Sure.
like hearing the trigger warnings before they start games while...
Nah, I'm good.
Alright then. Oh,
Don't look
just
upset
so you
with
know,
me.
Though, anytime you have the choice, I
Blah,
think
blah,
that
blah.
should be everything.
You forgot
Hi,
something.
Diana.
Huh?
Blah, blah,
Oh,
blah,
it's
blah,
fine.
blah. We've
Thanks,
seen
Do
this.
not call me Doc.
Bye, Di.
Anyway, we really do hope you like the story. Have fun. See you at
Actually-
the end.
I don't usually call her Di. I usually call her D. So, yeah. Anyway, let's get into the story, shall we? Also, yes, I will use the skip button occasionally, because the reality is there's only so much dialogue and only so minutes in a day. Here we go.
When anam abast at demon habnas.
What? Hello? I don't speak Latin. Pig or otherwise.
I wish to set a stone destiny.
Huh?
Dudere enim sorten modem quidni.
Because the fate of the abyssal plains is in the hands of the wrong man. I must set things right.
Okay. Cool?
Verum dices, sed hoc destere, pretium postras.
I wish I had some clue what was going on right now.
I come bearing my life force as the price. Take as much as you desire, as long as my request is fulfilled.
Okay.
Quod si acerpermus ea odia,
Then, that is the price, as long as you set the stone destiny.
I don't think I'm gonna like this, am I? ...
loqui fatum.
Game. My name is... That is a very good question. Who did I have as James's girlfriend in the last game? I honestly don't remember, so what's a good name to go with James? Just go with my usual default girl name when I don't know what to put in. Garnet, my birthstone. I'd almost forgotten it. Wow, wasn't I smart last game? I'm pretty sure I was smart last game. I clung to it by a single thread, knowing that if I let go, I'd be lost in a dark void, never to return. How many chapters ahead did I skip? I thought I just clicked the screen. Why? Why was I so worried about my name? Why were you? Well, it was the only claim I had to reality, especially when I was behind bars. Wait, what the heck did I do? The fuck? Oh, hello, prison cell. I remember you. For some reason, I was in a cell. I didn't know why. I didn't know how I got in here. All I knew was that I was in it, and that I was chained to a wall by shackles on my ankles. James, you have some serious kinks here I was not aware of. I didn't want to accept the bars as real. But I don't think this is a state of mind. I didn't want to be in a cell. It might not be so bad. We get some throw pillows, maybe some curtains. I'm just saying it has potential. We get some paint. I didn't want to smell the dank stench of blood and sweat emanating from all around me. Yeah, you should really set up an incense burner. But I had no choice in the matter. Well, that sucks. No matter how many times I examined my surroundings, they remained the same. I was in a cell in a dimly lit stone dungeon. The walls were unfriendly, and the shackles around my ankles provided no comfort. The rags I was forced to wear barely fit, and I felt filthy. Weird honeymoon I'm on. Why was I here? I didn't have the answer. All I knew was that I was trapped. I could hear quiet sobbing and muffled screams from further down the passageway I was in. They reverberated from down the hall, and I knew that they must have come from fellow prisoners or the condemned. Maybe. I, however, only had one neighbor. In the cell beside me sat a figure wrapped in a dark purple cloak. On top of the figure's head was shrouded by both the shadow in their cell and the hood that covered their face. They never spoke. They never moved. Are we sure they're alive? I mean, the bad smell might be a corpse. Were they dead? See, even the game thinks this. I watched them closely for some time, but I never saw their body inhale, exhale, or show any other sign of life. And what was to stop me from going, hello? Hi? Are you alive? Poke poke? I didn't wish to think on it further, so I turned my head away. Well, that's rude. You could at least say hello. What was happening? I opened my mouth to shout, hoping that, maybe, someone would hear me and give me some sort of clue as to what was going on. You and me both, game. You and me both. As I tried to command my voice to speak, however, the sound of a large door opening echoed through the dungeon. I turned my head towards the direction of the sound and watched as the hall slowly began to brighten, like there was a torch moving towards my cell. Might be. We'll see. I stared wide-eyed at what was approaching. Place your bets now, people. Is it the love interest? Is it Diana? Is it somebody else? Place your bets. And the winner is... Moving towards my cell was a man I recognized. One that had been close to my heart and now had the look of cold disdain in his eyes. Uh-oh. My chest pounded as his name reverberated in my head. James. Hi, sweetie. How you been? Good to see that over the course of 2 games you still have the same exact wardrobe. Although, what did they do to your hair? It looks messy. He was still in his human form, but his voice vibrated with demonic echoes and waves, sending shivers down my spine. His tone was cold and unfeeling, as if I was not someone he loved, but someone he despised with every ounce of his being. What the heck happened in between games here?
You still live. I'm surprised.
Really? I'm the main character, of course I'm alive. If I weren't alive, then you'd have to narrate everything and they'd have to pay your voice actor more. Suddenly, from the cell beside me, the crowded figure jumped up and slammed into the bars, gripping them as they snarled at James. I stared, now able to see who had been hidden by the cloak. Hi, Dee! Been a while, girl. Been a hot minute. This is where she said hi. We could have been braiding each other's hair.
You piece of filth. How can you dare show your face again?
We're not exactly in a bargaining position, Dee. Diana. James seemed unfazed as he stepped towards Diana's cage and leaned in, almost nose to nose with her. Aw, Eskimo kisses!
And you live too. How resilient you both are.
Yeah, we got that going for us, right, Dee? Fist bump.
We're not so weak as to break under your chains, traitor. After all, unlike you, I carry pure Lilith blood in my veins. And that human, the one you love, is more powerful than your pathetic mind can fathom.
Really? Yay! I'm powerful! What was Diana talking about? Why was James acting like this? I opened my mouth to speak, but felt something hold back my voice. It was as if a vice had been tightened over my vocal cords and denied them any chance to create sound in my throat. James smirked and gripped Diana's chin, making her snarl louder.
Anyone can be good. It just takes time and patience, both of which I have in abundance.
This honeymoon is super weird.
Fucking moron!
What now? James tightened his grip on her chin, digging his fingers into her jaw. Diana could only wince and glare at the one holding her. Hey, you're supposed to be holding me, sir. Over here. I'm the girlfriend. I felt fear run through my body as his lips curved even more into a devilish smirk. How could he look so evil? Well, he is an incubus, remember? We covered this in the first game.
Be patient, woman. You'll have your turn soon enough.
Okay. As James turned his gaze to me, I felt my body suddenly heat up. His eyes were glowing an almost sickly golden yellow. Aw, piss yellow. As he stared into my soul and ignited my core with heat and desire. Like I said, incubus. Remember this, boys and girls. I felt dizzy and weak, my mouth falling open to allow a silent sigh to escape from my lips. What was happening? Hi, sweetie. James released Diana and walked to the door of my cell, quickly manipulating the lock to open it. As the door opened, I felt myself crawl backwards, towards the back of the cell, suddenly afraid of the demon who was approaching. I mean, he looks the same. At the same time, I felt uncanny and unnatural elation for the man approaching me with a smirk that tore at my heart.
Well, time to dine.
Okay, are we going to lunch? I kinda need the shackle off.
Don't you fucking touch her!
Dee will bring you back a doggy bag, it's fine. Before I knew it, Diana pressed her body against the bars that divided our cells and grabbed James's shoulder, digging her nails into it.
You little...
Yeah, do you remember last game when you wanted to marry this guy and I stopped you? You're welcome. Bullet dodged. What now? That sounded like a gunshot. In retaliation, James swung his arm towards Diana and formed a familiar pistol in his hand. Within moments, he aimed and fired. Huh. Okay, no doggy bag for her then. I could only watch as Diana jumped back and held her chest. A massive chest it is, blood oozing from between her fingers onto the ground. She stared at James in both pain and surprise, before crumpling to the floor and exhaling the last breath she would ever take. Well, that's just a waste of a perfectly good Diana, James. Thought you had better taste than that. My mind was caught in a frenzy of emotions. While I felt shocked, terrified, and mortified at what had happened, my mind continued to dance in the desirable waves that ran through my body. Why couldn't I control myself? Gee, let's think. He's an incubus. This is what they do. Duh. I miss when I was smart. The pistol in James's hand disappeared as he let out a sneer of irritation.
Damn it!
Yeah, you kinda screwed the pooch there. James then looked to me, towering over me as I both cowered in fear and melted against the back wall of my cell.
Looks like you'll have to give me twice the amount of energy from now on.
Okay. I'm still pretty sure most remotes need 2 batteries, though, not just one. As James began to step towards me, I felt hot tears run down my cheeks while I panted like a dog in heat. Well, he is kind of putting us into heat. I wanted to scream. I wanted to tell him not to hurt me. Safe word, banana. We done? My voice began to press against the vice holding it, wanting to explode out. James's shadow consumed me, and I let out a scream. Then I woke up. Okay. That felt cheap as fucking unearned. I shot up in my bed, panting wildly as my heart pounded hard against my ribcage. I gripped my hand over my chest, feeling my pulse beating underneath the skin in a frantic rhythm in time with my hesitant breath. I heard the faint echo of my scream bounce through the room as I let reality sink in. It was a dream, and I was awake now. Everything was okay. Everything was...
Love?
Garnet, say my name. My heart froze, and I felt my body tense up at the sound of James's voice beside me. My cheeks heated, reminded me of the tears that I had shed in the dream, and who had caused them. Girl, it's a dream. Calm down. Hello. I shot my head to the side to see James, the man whom I loved, but also the man who terrified me, look at me with a face painted with concern and worry.
Love, are you okay?
Get away from me! I couldn't control myself as I quickly rolled out of the bed and pressed myself back against the far wall, staring at him in absolute terror. Do I have PTSD and no one told me? James only stared back at me, still shocked and now troubled. He didn't move, most likely not wanting to frighten me further. Yeah, sweetie, your love's kind of cuckoo nanners. Images of the dream I had begun to replay in my head, replacing the James in bed with the James that towered over me in the dark jail cell. My body shook violently from the memory, but soon my logic began to break the image apart, leaving me with the sight of James still in bed, staring at me. Yeah, I'm sorry, sweetie. My thoughts slowly melted, and I felt myself start to cry once again. This time, my heart began to ache as I realized whom I had yelled at. I lurched forward and practically jumped at James, who opened his arms wide and wrapped me in them as I landed against his chest. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Shh. There's nothing to be sorry about. It was only a nightmare. I'm right here.
Aww. James held me close to him as I began to cry into his shoulder. I continued to apologize to him, whimpering and sobbing like a child, as the fear from my nightmare slowly began to fade away. James's hands simply ran over my head and hair, trying to calm me down. I had felt so real, and yet I knew that it couldn't have been. James was right here, protecting me and comforting me, providing the love he had for me. He would never hurt me. Ever. Eventually, I was able to calm down, and I looked up at the man holding me as he gently smiled down at me.
Are you alright?
I've been better. I nodded, earning a small squeeze of his arms around me. I naturally cuddled closer to his body, desiring more of his warmth. What time is it? It's time to wake up and get coffee. James gently hugged me tighter to his body as he looked over to his nightstand, at his phone, which was docked in a fancy speaker charger. Ew, fancy.
It's 3:40 a.m.
Okay, it's time to go back to bed. Sorry, sweetie. Good night. We still had a few hours before our alarms were set to wake us. Crap. Why did I have to have a nightmare and wake both of us up? 'Cause nightmares aren't considerate. I gripped James's shoulders and looked up at him apologetically. I'm sorry. I know you need your sleep.
Please don't worry about it. My beautiful fiancée is much more important to me than sleep.
As he said, fiancé, I couldn't help but feel my face heat up, letting a blush run along my cheeks. It was true. I was his fiancé. He had asked me to marry him a couple of months ago, and I'd accepted his proposal, wanting to be his wife. Aww. Go me. Just thinking about the idea of being with him forever made me... I mean, I'm a human. The reality is he's probably gonna outlive me, so forever is... not so true. Anyway, made the imaginary butterflies in my stomach dance around happily and flutter their wings against my heart. It was a dream come true. I mean, was it? His love and warmth assured me that my nightmare was just that. He was my wonderful husband-to-be, and I was going to be his wife. My body couldn't help but shiver in happiness. Not anticipation? James caught the shiver and gently ran his hands up and down my arms.
Are you feeling cold?
Now there are ways to get warm. No, you just make me happy. That's all. As I leaned up and kissed James's cheek, he smiled and kissed mine in return. His warm lips sent another euphoric shiver down my spine, and I felt joy run through my veins. I truly loved James. It wasn't long, however, before I felt something gently brush against my hip. I looked down as James cleared his throat in embarrassment. Aww. Naughty boy. Raising an eyebrow as well as growing blush on my face. I looked up at my fiancé as he looked away from me, his face almost red as a tomato, which I wish they would show. But not, him being super happy to see me, but, the blush. I would like to see that. It would be doable, just slap some red on the picture.
I'm sorry, I can't exactly control my excitement when you say things like that.
Aww. It's alright, let's go back to sleep, kissing passionately. You know what, it's alright, but it is 3 in the morning. I got sleep. Good night, sweetie. James smiled, taking a deep breath to calm down, and nodded before gently releasing me and moving the covers to let me in. I slid my body under the covers and moved my body to lie against his. He wrapped his arms around me and closed his eyes. I wasn't wanting to do anything more than hold and sleep next to the man I loved. Aww. I was happy that he understood my decision and respected it. That was part of what made me fall in love with him in the first place. Not, girls choose guys like their dads. I closed my eyes and went back to sleep, knowing that James would protect me from any more nightmares. Aww. The nightmare didn't return. Yay! They usually don't. I slept peacefully within James's arms as if nothing else mattered in the world except for me and him. The morning was kind. James and I sweetly awakened before our alarms. Oddly, I felt well rested and ready for the day ahead. Not my experience with waking up before my alarm, even waking up with my alarm. As I looked at James, who was still holding me, he opened his eyes slowly and smiled down at me.
Good morning. Did you sleep better?
Mm-hmm. I nodded, causing him to chuckle and kiss my forehead. My own lips curled up into a smile as his lips touched my skin. I hugged him tighter, burying my head in his chest. Do we have to get up? A question I ask every morning.
Unfortunately, we do. You have to organize more wedding arrangements, and I have to go to work.
No. We get a wedding planner, they do everything, and you play hooky today. Come on. Do you have to whine?
Yes, I do. Now come on, let's go.
No. I couldn't help but whine. Exactly. I wanted to stay with James in bed just a bit longer. However, since he was the CEO of Anderson Toys Company, he had many obligations to attend to. Like I said, a girl likes her dad. Or, that didn't come out right. Girls choosing boys that are like their dads, only hopefully this guy's never actually hit me. Not even his future wife could pull him away from those duties. Oh, I don't know. I'm sure if I tried hard enough, I could. As James sat up, he took me up into his arms and kissed me lovingly, making a smile grow back onto my cheeks. I couldn't be annoyed for long whenever he kissed me. Oh, yay. Ew. I think this is new music. We went downstairs and had breakfast together before James went to work. It was always depressing whenever he left me alone in the house. Oh, boo-hoo, your big mansion. However, he was a CEO, and I was currently still in school getting a degree. Yeah, I'm sure I have schoolwork to do, if nothing else. Luckily for me, all of my courses were online. Shenanigans. So I didn't have to leave the house to get the degree I wanted. Well, in the era of social distancing, that might be a good point. Attending classes in pajamas was always better than having to put on regular clothes. Okay, as someone that did the college thing in the early 2000s, there were a lot of people that just showed up in pajama bottoms and, like, a sweatshirt. They looked like they just got out of bed and came to class, so I don't see how that's any different than what you're doing online. Unless your pajama bottoms are a little bit more risque. Are they a little bit more risque? Game, show me what my character's wearing. I stretched and yawned, still slightly tired from waking up in the middle of the night. As I thought about the moment, I couldn't stop the images of the nightmares flashing through my mind. Quickly, I shook my head. Nope. It was a stupid dream. No. Before that night, I had wonderful dreams of James and I preparing for the wedding and eventually seeing each other at the church. He hadn't seen my dress, despite trying to. So he'd be stunned and I would be blushing and smiling from ear to ear. Well, I mean, you're still probably going to be that regardless if he sees the dress or not. That one nightmare, however, worried me. What if it was an omen? A sign? Or, what if your mind's just freaked the fuck out because you're getting married? It's a big step. I wrapped my arms around myself, feeling a cold wave of nerves rush against my skin. My first instinct was to call Naomi or Zuzu. Oh, I miss my friends. Just to vent about it and get it out of my system. But if there was something supernatural at work, they wouldn't understand. Gee, it's only there were, people that were well-versed in the supernatural, like, I don't know, James's 4 brothers. Closing my eyes, I made a decision. I took my phone out of my pocket and dialed a number onto my phone without looking at it before bringing it up to my ear. Mommy, I had a nightmare! The other line rang a couple of times before I heard a voice answer at last.
Hello?
Why the frick would I call him? Ew. No. Hang up. No, better yet, prank call him and then hang up. crap. I didn't know Sam was still sleeping. How could you not have guessed that? Come on. Sam, is Carrie awake? Oh, okay, we're talking to his better half. I'm okay with this.
Dude, why are you calling?
I'm a chick for one, not a dude. Two, just get me your wife.
Sam, you dork. Give me the phone. I know it's
Yes,
her.
Sam, you dork. Give her the phone. I like her already. Hopefully no one has ever dropped pig's blood on you.
Doofus, calm down.
Wow. Please tell me you punched him somewhere.
Mine. Haha. Hello?
Hello. I smiled. Carrie was Sam's wife. Yep, I said wife. I know, someone actually wanted to marry him. They had been married for almost a year, and despite sounding like they were always bickering half the time, they truly loved each other. Sam had met her while investigating a haunted house. She had been there as an architectural consultant, and they clicked as soon as they both left. Aww, good for them. That was even more surprising about their relationship, however, was that Carrie knew that he was before he even confessed it to her. Okay, she is a smarty smart. Apparently, she was a witch. What? I'm sorry, what? A person who had been granted permission to know about magic and other worldly creatures by the angels, and was gifted with both demon and holy magic. Uh-huh. Okay. What? This just raises more questions. I only got to know about the otherworldly creatures because I was in a relationship with one and was marrying him. So, if I were just dating him but we weren't gonna get married, I'd be in really big trouble right now. So good thing I said yes at the end of the last game. Hey, Carrie, are you free right now?
Huh? Well, I kinda just got out of bed, but let me check my schedule, okay? Give me
Okay. Give you all the time you need, girl. I heard Carrie climb over Sam at one point, making him swear at her before he groaned in defeat at the situation. Good, give in. After a couple of book flips from the other line, Carrie finally cheered.
I don't have anything scheduled for work today, so I'm all
Cool.
free. What do you need? Wedding advice?
Well, you'll see. No, not that. Mind coming over? I kind of want to ask you something.
Sure thing. Sam's got work today. It'll just be me. I'll even bring some pizza and stuff.
Ooh.
We can have a fun girls' lunch. What do you say?
Yay! Girls' lunch! I like pizza. Shut up. Sounds great. See you soon. The phone call ended and I let out a sigh. This would be good for me. Yeah, all the carbs and cheese and grease. Carrie might be able to help clear things up. Maybe. I decided to clean as I waited. The mansion was huge after all, and it never stopped collecting dust. Yeah, that is the down part of a house this big. Soon enough, however, Carrie came by with 2 pizza boxes in one hand and a large bottle of pop in the other. I couldn't help but feel my stomach gurgle at the delicious smell. Isn't it still morning? Well, I guess you can have pizza and soda for breakfast any time, but... She brought deep dish pizza. Yum. We settled into my room and made bed into our picnic area. We laid out a blanket so we didn't get crumbs on the bed itself. What kind of pizza are you eating that you get crumbs? But we liked our makeshift eating spot.
So, what's going on? Are you having premarital trouble?
No. Yeah. He kind of proved this morning that's not going to be an issue. No, it's not about our marriage. Well... Carrie tilted her head at me, wondering what was the matter. I began to doubt myself. Should I tell her about the nightmare? Maybe it really was just a bad dream, and I was overthinking it. I closed my eyes, thinking about what to say. Eventually, I finally spoke. Up. I'm second guessing getting my degree. I had a nightmare last night. I walked out my mommy, but I called you instead, and then you climbed on Sam. That was kind of funny, so I just kept talking to you instead.
Huh? A nightmare? Was it really bad?
Yeah, if I'm talking about it. I nodded, remembering how horrified I was in the nightmare, and visibly shivering at the memory. Carrie frowned and poured me a glass of pop. I think we need something a little stronger than soda, dear.
Maybe I should have brought alcohol.
Exactly. Oh, no, it wasn't that terrible, I swear. Lies. Damnable lies. I rubbed my back of my neck. I had to relax. It was a nightmare, nothing real. I should have been able to talk about it. I sighed and looked up at Carrie. It was about James. He was holding me in a jail cell, the truth, or wasn't at the wedding and left me at the altar, a lie. You know, I'm gonna go with the lie for now, because it feels more believable.
What? He would never do that to you.
I know, right? It's crazy. Also, roll perception, because I'm lying. Or roll empathy. I know, but still, I was really upset. I couldn't tell him, so I just figured I could tell you and feel better, since it was just a stupid nightmare. You know? Is she buying it? I couldn't tell her. What if I was just overreacting? Then why bring it up? I would make her worry for no reason over something that wasn't real to begin with. Well, I decided to let my nightmare be just that, a nightmare. Oh, that's the look of concern right there, and disapproval. I wove a story about James not coming to the wedding, and Carrie reassured me that was just a dream.
He loves you to pieces.
I know, right?
He'd still be here with you if he didn't.
Oh, thank you. I smiled, her words calming my nervousness. I may not have eased my worry about the dream, but it felt good to be reassured that James would never hurt me like that. As we ate, my heart began to feel lighter. Yeah, everything would be okay. Game over. Thank you for coming to the Let's Play, everybody. Wait, it's not going to the credit screen. As the day went on, I enlisted Carrie to help me with the wedding arrangements. Wait, didn't I have college work to do today? Surprisingly, we got a majority of the work needed done. So that gave us time to relax and watch a movie together before James returned from work. Again, didn't I have college classes today? Wanting to leave us alone, Carrie left as soon as he came. Wow, okay! My mind read that in an incredibly dirty way. Also, Carrie's a voyeur now. Congrats.
Hey, did everything go all right? I'm assuming Carrie helped.
In our threesome, yes, of course, dear. Yes, she did. For some reason, I felt the need to hug him. I just needed to. Oh, I know that feeling. Without warning, I walked over and wrapped my arms around James, laying my head against his chest. That's a shocked look, sweetie.
Huh? Love?
Shh. Just let me have this. Indeed. As James wrapped his arms around me and kissed on top of my head, I smiled. He would be with me, and I would be okay.
I love you.
Aww. I love him too. And I love you, too. My heart felt at ease. Everything would be fine. Everything would be okay. Aw, see, this was a short game. Good session, everybody. See you next time. Oh, still going. James looked down at me, pulling away slightly to see my face with a smile.
So, what would you like for dinner?
Ooh.
We can go out to eat, or we can stay at home and I can make something.
Ooh, make something. Also, get yourself a man that cooks. They're amazing. I held James's hands in mine, knowing that I wanted to stay home with him. We had more than enough for the wedding, yes, but our time together was better spent alone together than at a restaurant. True. How about we order food instead? You just came back from work. Might as well relax. James chuckled softly before kissing my cheek, making me giggle softly.
As my wonderful bride wishes.
He is too good. We ordered takeout and sat together in our room, once again making the bed a picnic area. Do I not have a table anymore? Have we broken our table in a fit of lovemaking? I'm curious. We played a movie in the background, but our focus was on each other. Aww. He made himself comfy without a shirt. And I made myself comfy with my head against his shoulder.
So, is everything alright? I made sure the reception hall was taken care of on my way back, so that should be in order.
Cool. I also did stuff today. Much stuff. Oh, wow, good. Thank you. Everything's in order. We'll have a perfect wedding, which means everything's gonna go to shit.
Was there anything you wanted to add to the wedding? It's not too late to include anything you like if you really wanted.
No, I don't think so. I think everything we have is good. James nodded before continuing to eat. I, however, stopped and stared at James. I mean, I don't mind staring at either. I was really going to marry him. It was strange to imagine that I was really about to swear my life to someone for all time. It was like a dream come true. Why would I ever let something stupid like a nightmare shake me from it? Screw the nightmare. I was going to live a dream. I hope so. As someone that thought they were going to live the dream and then had to live through a nightmare scenario instead, it sucks. I gently moved my food to the nightstand and placed a hand under James's plate, making him stop to look up at me. I softly pulled it away from him, placing his food next to mine before crawling over James and sitting over his lap. Promise me something.
Huh? Anything.
Also, why does he look like Boy Morgan? No, Morgan from Dragon Age, he seriously looks like a boy version of her. Promise to stay with me forever? It seemed like a simple and obvious promise, but I wanted to hear him profess it. James continued to look up at me, silently understanding my need to hear it, and wrapped his arms around my body.
I promise to stay with you forever.
Aw, good boyfriend. Until the end of time?
Until the end of time.
Aw. You can't break your promise to me, ever.
I would never dream of it.
Good. James moved a hand up and tenderly caressed my cheek, making me nuzzle into his hand and close my eyes.
You're the one I want to spend my entire life with.
Aww.
I will give everything and more to you for as long as I possibly can as your husband.
Aww. I felt tears slowly run down my cheeks, which were soon brushed away by James's thumb. I nuzzled further into James's hand and held his wrist, almost hugging his arm to my chest.
Is the nightmare you had last night bothering you?
I couldn't help but nod in reply, frowning and biting my lower lip. I didn't want it to bother me. It wasn't worth it. I knew that James would stay with me and would never hurt me, unless I asked him to. James gently wrapped his free arms across my back and pulled me against his chest, moving his head to nuzzle my other cheek comfortingly.
Do you want to tell me what happened, or will you be okay?
I moved to wrap my arms around James. I wasn't sure if I wanted to tell him at all. Nah, I'm not gonna tell you, sweetie. Read my mind, tell me what's wrong. It was a stupid dream. It was nothing to be concerned about. I knew that everything would be okay in the end, regardless of if I told him or not. Communication's important, people. I decided to let it go, and the quicker I did, the better. I shook my head in reply to James's question, making him nod in understanding.
Very well. However, just know that I will always love and care for you as long as I live, and even beyond that.
Even beyond that?
Far beyond that.
James wrapped his arms around me as I hugged him and pressed my body against his. He loved me. I loved him. We would love for all of eternity. Again, you're immortal. You're gonna die one day. And on that note, it is time to bring the video to a close. Until next, Taklikatila Kiddo.